Week 3, red, orange.
Nice.
Nice. Hi everyone. Welcome to week 3 and red, orange. To start off, I thought I'd share my thoughts and process for my color swatch layout. So I wanted to show you what I'll be using. On the left, the top left, are golden fluid acrylics in Naphthol red light and pearl orange. Below that, I have a Liquitex acrylic ink in Naphthol crimson. I always flub up that word for some reason. And Daler Rowley flame orange. On the right, the top right, are liquid watercolors by Dr. P.H. Martins in deep red rose and brilliant cad red, which actually looks more orange. And below that are Dina Wakley acrylics in tangerine and Sedona. You also see skewers on the left and palette knives on the right, and that's for the application of these wonderful products. So here we go. As you can see, I have thoroughly covered the pages behind my layout pages, and it's a little overkill, but I just, the thought of getting red orange on other pages drives me crazy. So anyway, I'm starting off with spritzing some water, and I apologize for the glare, but anyway, so the water is there. My skewers are ready. And I'm going to start with the fluid acrylics. And there it goes. So I'm holding the pages up a little bit on my left, and now I'm using the skewer to spread it around. And if you've ever worked with a skewer, it's really interesting because depending on the way you're holding it, it burrs, if that makes sense. And I kind of like what I see there. It's amazing that there's more yellow to my eye than orange. Okay, so next I'm going to start with the acrylics by Dina Wakley in tangerine and Sedona. And look at that. Now to me that's truly a red orange. And I'm going to let both pages dry now. So now it's time for the second application, but as you can see on the left, some of that paint has not dried, but that's okay. So now I'm going to go in with the fluid acrylics, and there, remember I mentioned the burr? It's like your skewer skips, and you're at risk of spraying that liquid all over the place if you're not careful. So just little word of warning there. But I like what I see there on the left. That's really a red orange, or one variation of it. And on the right, I'm going in with the watercolors, and that's really beautiful. So now here everything is dry, and I was thinking about what to do next. And of course, the first thing that comes to mind are some marks, just getting in there and doodling and adding more of the color, contrast colors, certainly not more paint, but just maybe play around with markers and pencils and stuff like this that you see here. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. So what I'm going to do is put them aside and just let this be. I know that seems to be the theme so far in this journal, but I have to follow what I feel. And there's no reason why I can't go back next week or next month and make marks and add to this page. But for now, I'm going to honor what I feel and call this done. And now we're on to the collage layout. And I thought I had this done. I thought it was just going to work out right from the start. So I cut out these wonky circles from painted papers, and all I needed was a focal point. And I thought, okay, I can do this. Just lay those circles down, add a little bit of color, put down the focal point, grab a caption, it's done. And I love it that way, but didn't work out. So let me show you. Here's what I had pulled, and it's based on a drawing that I did a couple years ago. I'm going to show you the original in a bit, but what I did was I added red and orange colored pencils to it so that it really focused on the color. But here's the original. It's a huge tag, and I had a lot of fun making her. So I thought she'd be perfect for it, but I was wrong. So there's a side-by-side comparison there. And I really wish it did, it would have worked out. I love the little butterfly wings and all that. So I had to start over, but I still wanted to keep these circle details. So I found a different image to work with that I thought would be just as effective, and here it is. It's one of my pattern girls from a vintage, this time Simplicity pattern, and I love that dress. The colors are good, but when I attempted to work on the page, it wasn't working. It wasn't good at all. So I'm going to show you what I ended up doing. Talk about something different. What I forgot to mention is that I had gone ahead and added all the red orange dots that you see there, and it was too much. I mean, this color is bold enough as it is, but that's why it wasn't working with all the circles. It was just crazy. I'm going to blame it on the heat. It's been so hot here. But anyway, as you can see, I used gesso in random places on the pages so that I could soften it. But then when I found this image and the rows and the words, it all came together. And that image was inspired by a tag that I had made quite some time ago that was in my stash when I was looking for inspiration. And the words are from Sabrina Ward Harrison, one of her books. I'm sorry, it was 2 pages that she had written out in like crayon, perfect. And what I did was I cut out words and made my own statement from what she had written. And it says, I am here to make new work and find new answers with questions. But I am so happy with the way it turned out. The big red rose there is a die cut by Tim Holtz, and it was originally a pale pink, so I took Copic markers and just colored it in with orange and red, and now I'm happy again. So the third installment is usually a painting, and I thought this time around I would use watercolors instead of acrylics. And then I thought, why not use a stencil? Why don't you just use one of your favorite stencils? So here it is. This stencil, if you recognize it, is by Tracy Batista. And I went ahead and practiced in another journal that has these yummy, thick cotton watercolor paper, and it just soaks up this the watercolor paints beautifully. So I was really happy with the way it turned out and thought, okay, let's go for it. Let's transfer it over to the journal. So I did, and here's what happened. Not so bad, but I wish I had a before picture. So I I went ahead and using different shades of red and orange just went at it. Now, my journal has uh, a different weight of watercolor paper. It's actually just 90 pounds, and I did not gesso this layout. You don't have to gesso it, but anyway, I just went for it. And I wish, again, you could have seen how it was because it ran. It ran through the stencil. It was very blotchy in some places, and I'm sure you can see that. But then what I did was I took a white gel pen and I just went at it. I did random lines all over the place. I tried to stay true to the original shape and style of the flowers. And now I have a more organic painting, if you will. And I'm really happy with it. And I think Tracy would like it too. So this was a lot of fun. I can go back and I can add leaves or whatever. But again, I'm in this mode where I'm very comfortable leaving things as they are and then going back to them later. I've never been that way before. I had always been very impatient with the process, but now I'm learning to just go with the flow, as we always say. And it's very freeing when you do that. Because again, if you're one to believe there are no rules, then why put limitations on yourself? Why box the process? So anyway, those are my 3 pages for this week, and I hope you've enjoyed following along, trying to make sense of what I was thinking and feeling. But anyway, thank you for being here, and hope you can join us again next week. Bye.